What's up? It's Tice, and in this video, I'm going to go over exactly how phone flipping is literally on easy mode with this 3-step process that I'm using, the most simple shit ever. But if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Tice, and I've been able to scale my phone flipping business up to $20,000 profit in a single month, and I've been able to help others be able to scale to 5K, 6K, 7K, 8K, 9K a month with phone flipping. And if you knew this 3-step process that I'm about to teach you right now, you'd already be making 6K, 7K, 8K a month. So if you want to be making those types of numbers, then stick to the end of this video because I'm going to go over exactly everything right now. So the first thing that I realized is that 90% of phone flippers still don't know the right way to find deals, close deals, sell their phones. And so that literally makes it wide open for you. Like, it's never been more easy to actually get into this and make a shit ton of money. Like, it's completely wide open because the more people that phone flip, they all go into it doing the wrong thing, right? So they go into it doing this. This is the old way. This is the saturated way that everybody's doing, that it just doesn't work well. I'm not saying it completely doesn't work, but it doesn't work well. And it's completely oversaturated because everybody is trying this. So the old way that everybody here on YouTube teaches, all the gurus, I'm not going to say any names, you guys know who they are, but they literally just do manual outreach all day, and then they just sell their phones back on Facebook, or they sell them on eBay, even worse. But that is literally hard mode. You're starting on hard mode, and it grinds you down. Like, it's just a grind. So, I mean, really how they get their phones is just manual outreach. So you're DMing sellers all day. You compete with 10 plus buyers, sometimes even more depending on your area. Because when you're reaching out to these people, you got to realize you're competing against other phone flippers trying to get that phone on Facebook Marketplace. But you're also competing with people who actually want to buy that phone to use it for themselves. So you have two different types of competition in that field. You get ghosted, you get blocked, and you can't scale past 5 to 10 phones a week unless you grind more. And I'll tell you that 5 to 10 phones a week, that's a grind in itself to try and get that much just by doing manual outreach. And you got to grind way more to actually get anything. But and then selling phones locally, selling your phones on Facebook Marketplace, buyers flake, constant haggling, constant tire kickers, risk of chargebacks or scams, just overall just slower sales, less cash, which means you can't buy more phones if your phones are taking long as shit to sell. So in the long term, more effort equals the same output, no compound effect. Like, you got to realize there's no compound effect there, and you're always chasing the next phone and the next buyer, right? Like, that's what you have to realize, is that there's no systematic approach or anything to that. You're always chasing the next phone, and you're always chasing the next buyer. So here is my simple 3-step process to actually go about this. So I'm going to go over exactly everything from sourcing the phones to negotiating to actually selling the phones. So to source my phones, this is literally how it works. So we have two things here. We have Facebook paid ads, which I'm going to talk about and dive deep into because this really compounds like crazy. And then also marketplace notifications. So the first thing we're going to dive into is Facebook ads. So from these Facebook ads, we get attention, right? So from getting so much attention, you can get 5 to 10, even more, 5 to 10 leads a day on autopilot. People texting you that want to sell you a phone. They are motivated and they want to actually sell their phone to you. And with ads, it's not one-to-one DMing, it's one-to-many. So you're not just a dude behind a screen texting people. You have many people texting you, right? And also brand building, you're building a brand for yourself. So again, you're not just a dude behind the screen, because this actually has a compound effect because you're building a brand, you'll get reoccurring customers, you'll get suppliers, and these people find you through your marketing. When you're just reaching out to people on Facebook Marketplace, there is no marketing. That's what you got to realize. Like, in a business, the main thing, most of the time, the main thing is marketing. When you're just doing outreach, you're not marketing. You're just doing outreach. There's no marketing there. So when you're actually doing marketing and you're doing it the right way, you're building a brand, you're getting reoccurring customers, and you're getting suppliers to find your name, see who you are, see what you do, and you're also getting buyers to find your name, see who you are, see what you do and everything. So this literally does 70% of the work just from running this Facebook ad. Like, yeah, you're just running the Facebook ad, but these things are happening behind the scenes, right? So Alex Hormozi says this all the time. The work works on you more than you work on it. I hope that makes sense. Like, the work works on you more than you work on it. So by you doing the work, that work works on you more than you work on the work. It's a tongue twister, but like, if you figure that out, maybe type it in a ChatGPT to make that a little bit more simple. But it's very, very true. Once you realize what I'm saying there, it's so true. Right? You might, if you didn't understand what I said, you might think I just said a whole lot of bullshit, a whole lot of work, but it's very true. And right here is just an example of people that I'm actually currently working with and running their Facebook ads. So this dude had 819 people message him through his Facebook ad. So he does in DKK. It's a different currency that he does, but in US dollars, that's $2.46 per message, and in total he spent $2,000 on the ad. You do the math. If 819 people message you and you only closed like freaking 20%, you do the math. You make $100 profit off each phone, whatever it is. But yeah, another one of my clients, Amir, his ads are absolutely killing it. 408 messages, $1.56 a message, $638 spent. Sometimes you have $600 days in profit. So yeah, this shows you, like, if you are running Facebook ads and you're a phone flipper and they're not doing this well, you should probably adjust and you should probably switch up your Facebook ad, and you're probably just not doing it the right way. If you're not getting between $1 to $3 per message, even $3 is kind of pushing it a little bit. But if you're not getting from $1 to like $2.50 or $1 to $2 per message, I'm not saying you're doing it wrong, but you could do it better. Trust me, if you run your ads the right way. And then also, this is one of my ads that I've run. 161 messages, $1.63 per message. Like, as long as you're running your ads good, you get crazy results, right? So yeah, if you are a phone flipper and you're already running Facebook ads and they're not looking like this, you might be doing them wrong. And then marketplace notifications. So also this running alongside with the Facebook paid ads is killer. So you filter for the phones that you want. So say you only want iPhone 11 and newer, you could filter that. Say you only want to buy phones under $300, you could filter that. So me personally, I use Flipify. There's Swoopa out there. There's probably a couple others. But you just want to be the first one to actually send an offer. And by default, instead of checking your Facebook all day, it just takes a lot of time. And also, you're not going to know when that phone is just being listed because you're checking every 30 minutes, every hour, whatever it is. But when you get notifications, you're most likely going to be the first one to actually reach out to that person, which means you're the first one to send an offer. You offer them quick cash today or quick cash, I could come pick up the phone right now. And that's your offer. And, most of the time, the quicker you message them, the quicker you could set up a meetup, the quicker you're going to get that phone and actually close that deal. Sorry. But yeah, so literally everybody that I'm working with that is making over $5,000 a month with phone flipping, this is their process of sourcing phones, is mostly Facebook paid ads, marketplace notifications, and these Facebook ads absolutely crush for the people that I'm working with that are making, and now they're making 5, 6, 7, 8, 9K a month because of this way of actually marketing. So if you want help with Facebook ads and you just want me to teach you how to do these, you could book a call with me using the first link in the description if you want help with these Facebook ads. But let's move on to number 2, which is negotiation, how to actually negotiate the leads that come from the Facebook ads. So let me just give you a quick little masterclass. I'm just going to give you some tips. So these are not in order. It's just I'm just giving some tips on negotiation when it comes from getting leads from Facebook ads. So the first thing I want to go over is always asking you questions. So you always want to be talking in you format when it comes to negotiating with these people from Facebook ads. So The first thing you do when they text you and they say, hey, I have an iPhone 11, or hey, I have an iPhone 15 Pro Max, the first thing you always say is, how much do you want for it? And you let them set the anchor. You let them, that's like, it's sales, it's negotiation. Like if you were to watch an in-depth YouTube video or whatever, you always want them to spit out the price first. You don't want to be that one to set the anchor. But going back to like you format questions, you always want to be asking, what do you want for it? How much do you want for it? Or where do you want to meet? Or just that's really it. I can't really think of much there, but everything that you ask, you want it to be in like you format. You always want to be asking them something. It's like, how much do you want for it? Why do you want that much? And you don't really ask that. Why do you want that much? But why do you want to sell the phone right now? Or where do you want to meet up? What time do you want to meet up? Just always asking questions in you format. I find that made a pretty big difference for me, personally. Especially the first message. If you just completely just closed your ears for everything I just said, please remember, always ask, how much do you want for it? You want them to set the anchor, and then that leads into number 2, which is you want to justify their price. So if you ask somebody, how much do you want for it? And they say some outrageous bullshit ass price, like I want $500 for my iPhone 11, you want to justify that price. So normally if you're a phone flipper, you're like, oh yeah, you're never going to get that much, or like for when you're dealing with leads, put your ego aside. You like forget about it. You don't want to say, oh, you're never going to get that much, or oh, you're so dumb for that, or put your ego aside. Forget it. Who cares, right? You just want to justify their price. Okay, so if you have an iPhone 11, exactly what I would say to that, if they have an iPhone 11 and they want $500 for it, exactly what I would say. I would be like, okay, I'm assuming that iPhone 11 is brand new, sealed in the box, and it's 512 gigabytes, right? Question mark. Exactly what I say every single time somebody says an outrageous price. I just justify it. All right, you want $500 for your iPhone 13? Okay, I'm assuming it's brand new, sealed in the box, and I'm assuming it's unlocked, and I'm assuming it's 1 terabyte. Right? Question mark. Absolutely kills them, because it makes them realize, oh wow, that's what he normally buys that phone for. So mine must be worth less than $500. Mine must be less than that. So it's kind of like a mind fuck, but it really, really works. Another thing is just use logic, not emotion. This is definitely for when you're meeting up and negotiating in person. It's just use logic, negotiate logically. So I always say, I always use this example, but when you're at the meetup, you want to show everybody what is actually wrong with the phone, and just make it very logical to them. Like when you're at the meetup, when you're checking the phone, wipe the phone down, shine your flashlight on it. You'll be able to see the scratches, and that's a very logical reason to bring the price down. You just show them, hey, your phone is all scratched up. Look, right here, your phone's all scratched up. There's scratches here, there. Another thing is like, let's say the buttons don't work, just show them. You're not negotiating in person just off straight bullshit, like just off like whatever. But you want to look and find something in the phone and make sure you are logically bringing that price down and showing them what's actually wrong with the phone, and show them that you're not bullshitting them, right? Another thing is like assume the best of the best. So that kind of ties into justifying the price. If someone asks some outrageous price, then you want to assume the best of the best. So I want $500. Okay, well, I'm assuming it's brand new, sealed in the box, 1 terabyte, and completely unlocked, right? So like that goes back into assuming the best of the best, because when it's not, when they want that price and they realize, oh wow, that's what they normally pay for that type of phone, okay, it's definitely worth less. So they start to lowball themselves. And you'll realize, like when you're running Facebook ads, people lowball themselves. So if sometimes the negotiation doesn't even happen, and you're like, how much do you want for it? This ties back into why that question is so big and can make you so much money, asking how much do you want for it, because sometimes people lowball themselves, and they'll have an iPhone 15, they'll be like, I want $250 for it. And you're just like, all right, shit, I'm there, right? Another thing is just be willing to walk away. So if you're at the meetup and the guy's not agreeing to your price, or it's the phone is not as described and you have to deduct money and they're not willing to agree to the price or whatever, be willing to walk away. What happens 90% of the time is that they won't agree with the price, or maybe something will happen. 90% of the time when I'm negotiating in person and I use it and I negotiate logically and show them what's actually wrong with the phone, they understand why I'm deducting $100 or $50. But if they don't understand and they actually need that money or whatever it is, but you can't pay that price, you just have to be willing to walk away. And what happens a lot of the time is that you'll be like, all right, man, I'm sorry, but I just can't give you that price. And they'll just be like, hey, you could start walking to the car or whatever, and they'll just be like, all right, fine, I'll take it. So be willing to walk away, because that shows that you're powerful, and that's going to get you the deal if you're willing to actually walk away and not just buy a phone just because a phone's in front of you. If you can't make money on the phone, don't buy it. Be willing to actually leave the meetup. So same thing that applies to girls, that applies to phone flipping. If you're willing to walk away and you show them you're willing to walk away, then they want you more. Right? So same shit applies to phone flipping. If you're willing to walk away from the meetup, they come running back and they're like, no, buy my phone. Same shit with a chick. You start to walk away, they're like, no, I want you now. Anyway, another thing is just offering instant cash convenience. So if you're messaging with somebody, people will often lower the price if you are willing to meet with them as soon as possible and give them cash, right? That's just how it works, right? If you offer that convenience, they're willing to lower the price and do your price or whatever. So that is sourcing and that is negotiating. Now let's get straight into selling. So this is by far the easiest part of the whole entire process, believe it or not. So selling all my phones. This is where I sell all my phones. I sell all my carrier locked, iCloud locked, blacklisted, cracked, broken, unlocked phones. All of my phones go straight to direct buyers, right? So this is the whole backbone of my business. And without these, I wouldn't be able to make the money I am making today. And neither would any of my clients be able to make the money they're making today without these direct buyers, because it's an instant sale. You're instantly selling to these people. They pay good prices, and all the phones you get from Facebook ads, they go straight to selling. You sell them straight to these direct buyers. So you're not waiting for the phone to sell or anything. And you could sell in bulk. I mean, there's a million benefits. I talk about it a lot in my previous videos on why selling phones to these direct buyers are so good, but I'm just going to tell you how it works pretty much. So, you get all your phones from the Facebook ads, you sell them to the direct buyers. It's a very simple process. You just ship the phones off to the buyers, and you just get paid from there. Like there's not much to it. But actually, like with these buyers, so the buyers, they have a price sheet. So basically, when you're shooting your offer off to the people the leads that you get from the Facebook ads, you look at the buyer's price sheet and you look at what the buyer is buying that specific phone for. So let's say somebody messaged me and they said, hey, I have an iPhone 13 Pro Max and it's in good condition. I would go to, on the buyer's price sheet, I would scroll down, search up iPhone 13 Pro Max, see what he's paying for it, and then just offer the customer less than what he's paying for it. So if I want to make $100 and let's say the buyer is paying $600 for a 13 Pro Max, I would just offer the customer $500. It's that simple. Like, it's literally that simple. It's the most simplest shit ever. So that's for every single model. Like, somebody hits you up with a 16 Pro, 14 Pro, 13 Pro, iPhone 12 Pro Max, whatever. Same thing for every model. You look at what the buyer's paying, you offer the customer less. That's it. And this is all the buyers. They give you all the information you need to know, like how they grade their phones. So you could look at the grading sheets. This is what they pay for their certain phones, not what they pay, but this is the grades of the phones. So if somebody comes to me with a phone and they say it's in good condition, that would be grade B, right? If somebody says, hey, I got a phone, but there's a crack on the front, that would be grade C, right? If you read the description, cracked glass. And then if somebody comes to me with a phone and they say it's perfect condition, never used it ever, that would be grade A. if there's actually like zero scratches, zero micro scratches or anything. And then, yeah, just for small little things, like say if somebody said, hey, I have an iPhone 13 Pro Max and the back is cracked, that's not going to be on the grading scale. That's going to be on the actual price sheet. So when you have the direct buyers, you'll see on their price sheet, they tell you what they deduct for certain things. So like cracked back, minus $180. Cracked lens, minus $30. So if you're at the meetup and let's say you were supposed to give them $700 and the back turns out to be cracked and they never told you about it, you just deduct $180. Me personally, I would deduct probably like $220 because I want to make profit. I want to make more profit, right? I just don't want to deduct to break even on it. I want to make more profit, right? I hope you get what I'm saying. I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down. But yeah, if somebody comes up to me and they have whatever, a 13 Pro Max, and let's say the back crack deduction, because the back crack deduction is different for every single model, right? Like you're not deducting $180 for an iPhone 11 that's back cracked, or iPhone 12 that's back cracked. It's different for every model. The lower models you go, the cheaper the back crack deduction is. Same thing for every single deduction. The lower model of the phone you go, the lower the deduction is. But yeah, for example, let's say the deduction is $100. I would probably deduct like $150 because I'm making profit on that deduction too. I want to make profit off everything, bro. That's where the money's at. And also like cracked lens, they tell you what they deduct for that. You also get the private buyer's phone number when you're dealing with one. So if the phone has a bad Face ID, text them. If the phone has a bad back camera, text them. All that stuff. Right, so it makes it very extremely simple for you guys. And by the way, if you do want access to my personal direct buyers, and you just want help with getting these, you could just book a call with me using the first link in the description, and I'll help you get these buyers. But that's literally my 3-step process. And if you actually stick to this, like what happens if you actually stick with this for like, let's just say 90 days, right? Let's just say you stick with this for 90 days, because if you actually take action now and you actually start now and you start off with, let's say $1,000 or $2,000, this is realistically where you could be within the next 90 days. Like I want to motivate you to start now. There's no reason to wait to actually start this, right? So if you were to start off with about $1,000 to $2,000, I'm not just making up numbers just so I can make you guys feel happy. Like, oh, I could start off with 1,000. Like, yes, you actually could. One of my clients right here, he started off with $1,600 and he made $6,000 profit his second month working with me. One of my clients, Simon, he started off with around $2,000 and he made $8,000 profit his third month working with me. Then Amir, he was making about like $3K a month with phone flipping when he joined me. And that's why we were able to absolutely take off. In our first month working together, he made $8,000 profit. Actually, he made $9,000 profit, because the next day we filmed this interview, and then the next day he made $1,000 in profit. So we'll include that in our next interview. But yeah, this is realistically where you could be within the next 90 days. Just being completely honest. Like, I'm not trying to bullshit you. These are real results from real people that I've actually worked with. I'm not saying that you're gonna get to this position in the next 90 days if you were to just do it on your own. If you were to work with me, this is realistically where you could go. Like, I don't need your money. I make enough money, but it could definitely change where you're at. But yeah, in the next 90 days, probably you've found 1 to 2 consistent private buyers to sell to in bulk. You're probably getting consistent referrals. So this is like what these guys are doing. They have 1 to 2 private buyers they sell to in bulk. They're getting consistent referrals. They get messaged every day, all day, from people asking if they buy phones, people blowing up their phone. Hey, buy my phone, buy this phone, buy that phone. It's insane. Like, you literally get blown up. And they've each found, 1 to 2 suppliers that they get sold to in bulk. So bulk suppliers that sell phones to them in bulk. So yeah, this system actually builds something and sets you up long term, and over time, the ad account actually gets smarter, and you get a better cost per lead the longer you actually run your Facebook ads. So this is like compared these systems, like outreach and selling your phones on Facebook compared to ads and selling your phones to private buyers. Like the input, it's really just money and systems. With outreach, it's literally just time and hustle. The output is just predictable results and instant flips. And with outreach, it's completely unpredictable. You could get 10 phones one week, and the next week nobody even lists the phone on Facebook Marketplace, and there's your whole business gone, right? So it's very unpredictable, and it's very slow cash. So long term, if you look at this Facebook ads and private buyers, like running Facebook ads, this snowballs and it scales. I wouldn't say passively. I don't like using passive income or say passively, but this scales. You could scale it. Like you could actually scale this, and it snowballs, so it gets bigger and bigger and bigger over time because you're building your brand over time. You're getting more reoccurring customers, more suppliers, more buyers, everything, right? This really just burns you out, and there's no compounding to this. To outreach in Facebook, to selling your phones on Facebook Marketplace and outreaching on Facebook Marketplace, there's no snowball effect. There's no compounding. It's just you start off the next week or you start off the next month back to zero. No more people know you. Like with Facebook ads and all that, more people know who you were more people know who you are this month than they did last month. More people know you by phones this month more than people did last month. I hope that makes sense. But again, there's no compounding with this. You're just a dude behind the screen. Next month, you start from complete scratch. You don't have any recurring customers. You don't have any suppliers or anything, right? So this is my way. Facebook ads, inbound leads come to you daily. Run one ad, gets leads every single day. The more you spend, the more leads you get. And you're only spending, you could spend from 10 to 20 bucks a day. It's not even that much. As long as you get a phone a day, completely covers it. And even if you get one phone, it completely covers it for the whole week. Like if you make $100 profit, and that's very doable. Like I just told you, my client Amir made $1,000 profit yesterday. But yeah, over time, the ad account gets smarter, better cost per lead. You build a brand. People DM you weeks and months later after seeing your ad because maybe they're ready to sell a phone and they know you're there. They know you're there and ready to buy phones. And then just the private buyers, they buy any phone, any condition, they pay instantly, and they buy phones in bulk. So right when the phones get to them, you get paid. Right when the phones get to them, they inspect them, then you get paid out. No flaky buyers or anything. These are trusted buyers. Just lets you buy more phones confidently. Once you build 2 to 3, you only need one because I only personally use one. But once you build one solid connection with a private buyer, it's massive profit. So long-term effect, more ad spend, more deals, more profit, bigger bulk sales, reinvest in ads, reinvest into buying more phones, and that completely snowballs. So if you do want help with this whole entire 3-step process, again, if you want to learn how to run the Facebook ads, you want to get access to my buyers and do everything my way, I can help you out with this and turn you into another testimonial. So if you want help with this, you could book a call with me using the first link in the description. And yeah, if you work with me, you'll probably be on the YouTube soon on how you made $5,000 in your second month working with me. But with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.